Want to finish your sleeves with a neat and professional elastic casing for an easy gathered sleeve? Well, you're in the perfect place. The trick to sewing an elastic casing on a sleeve is to begin pressing it before you sew the sleeve inseam. In this guide, we will demonstrate how to create a casing for a 0.6 centimeter or 1/4 of an inch elastic with a 1.5 centimeter or 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. However, this same technique can be adapted for different elastic widths and seam allowances. Start by folding and pressing in the raw edges by 0.5 centimeters or 0.2 inches. Try to keep this fold even as you press. Next, fold and press the same edge in by 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch. You can see our 1/4 inch elastic will comfortably fit through the channel once sewn. If you're using a wider elastic, just increase the width of this second fold. Next, we'll move on to sewing the inseam of the sleeve. But before you get to pinning and sewing the sleeve together, release one fold, ensuring that one 0.5 centimeter or 0.2 inch fold remains in place to keep those raw edges turned up. Now pin the folded edges together, right side together for a regular seam and wrong sides together if you're opting for a French seam. If you need a little guidance, you can check out our tutorials for French seam and standard seam finishes linked below. Once sewn with the sleeve positioned wrong side up, turn in the second 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch fold around the sleeve hem and press. Now head over to the sewing machine, beginning to sew at the sleeve inseam. Also begin with a back stitch, then sew along the inside edge of the hem. Lining up the inside of the hem with your presser foot will help keep the sewing straight. You don't want to sew all the way around to the starting point. Instead, leave about a 2 centimeter or 0.8 of an inch wide gap. This opening is where we will thread the elastic through later. Make sure to backstitch at the end of your stitches to secure everything in place. It's now time to thread our 1/4 inch elastic through the casing we've just created. Attach a safety pin to one end of the elastic, then thread it through the channel. If you're working with a short piece of elastic, consider pinning the other end to your fabric to prevent it from pulling through. Once you've threaded the elastic through, pin the ends together to form an elastic loop. You'll want to leave it pinned until your garment is completely finished. This way you can try it on and can adjust the tightness of the elastic to your preference. But we will continue to show you how to finish it off. Once you've determined the length of your elastic, mark and pin the two ends together and return to the sewing machine. Using a zigzag stitch, securely sew the elastic ends together. Ensure that you've added enough stitches to firmly hold the elastic. Don't worry about the appearance of the stitching, as this elastic will be concealed within the sleeve casing. Finally, proceed to sew close the gap you left in the sleeve casing earlier. Remember to backstitch at both the beginning and end of the seam to secure it. And there you have it, an easy way to create an elastic gathered sleeve. If you love sewing, we've got something to help you plan out your creations, our awesome and awesomely free PDF sewing planner. Jot down your measurements, hack plans, and supplies for every project and add your fabric swatches and garment sketches. Use one of our 4 croquis models or sketch on the blank planner pages. It also includes a collection planner for organizing swatches and styling ideas for mini wardrobe collections and a 12-month sewing calendar. Get all your measurements sorted with our journal and step-by-step video tutorial, which walks you through how to take each measurement. Download your planner for free at madelabel.co/planner so you can get creative and plan out the wardrobe of your dreams.